Trying to think how to set this up here. That stays. That's cool. Um, it's pretty funny. A friend of mine and I were talking about his girlfriend, right? And I mean, they both have gone through like insane lore in their lives, right? Trauma, lore, whatever you want to call it. Both, even. And they're both very emotionally mature, but they're not emotionally available, if that makes any sense. But they don't give up on each other. And that's the most important thing, in my opinion, about relationship is like any relationship can work. It just depends on if you both are ready to change, you know, change in order to change for the relationship, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I was saying, he was talking about how he hasn't seen his girlfriend in like weeks because he dorms at college, right? And his girlfriend has an apartment that's like 30 minutes from his college, so he rarely sees her now. It's gas and everything's so high. I guess, and what was I saying? Right, so he went to see his girlfriend today, right? And I guess she wrote him a letter because she missed him so much, and she's been going through a lot of stress. This is what he's telling me. I don't talk to his girl. What am I? Oh shit. Whoops. I don't talk to his girl, but he told me all this. He said, she's been going under a lot of stress, and she wrote him a letter, because she missed him so much. And I guess one sentence, like the second sentence of the letter, like made him chuckle. Like, he chuckled a little bit. And, she flipped out because, obviously the letter meant a lot to her, writing it for him, right? And the fact that he kind of like laughed, I guess, set her off a little bit, right? Which is understandable, but I think the bad thing about writing a letter to someone is like, in the moment writing a letter, you kind of have this like pre-existing like tone, mood for the letter, right? The reader is supposed to perceive in the letter, right? And so once the reader doesn't perceive the letter how you want them to perceive the letter, it kind of ticks you off a little bit. You're like, wait, why are you finding this funny? It's supposed to be sad. You know what I mean? So I kind of get her point of view. And plus, I guess she's going on a lot of stress, he said. So, he was like, give her some slack, right? It makes sense that she's freaking out about things because all this is happening, right? I guess, long story short, we're talking a lot about grief and isolation, if that makes sense. And to go further in depth into those two topics, we talked a lot about when we fuck up, right, in relationships, and like if anything really, any situation, like you fuck up, you feel bad, right? And him and I were talking about kind of just like, I'm going to use his story as an example because it's a pretty good example of like these emotions and stuff, right? My back's been hurting a lot. But he was saying how after he chuckled, he was like, oh, I'm sorry, right? So in that moment, I'm sorry, he immediately wants to make things better, immediately wants to resolve the issue. And she kind of wants to run away. Not run away from him or the house, but just like leave the environment because she's upset, right? And stressed, and she needs some space. But he wants to be like there for her, right? So there's this kind of like overwhelming sensation of just wanting to help, but at the same time knowing you can't, if that makes sense. And I told him like I fucking relate so badly because, of course, my situation is a little different because I did fuck up things really, really badly. Instead of just chuckling in a letter, I kind of cheated. So it does suck. But when the last time I saw my girlfriend, or the whole, her, she was mad at me, storming, yelling, storming out my house, everything. It was the last time I ever saw her, and I felt so shitty for what I've done. And, I immediately wanted to make things better, but at the same time, I felt like I don't deserve to help her because she deserves something else better, right? With him, he doesn't want to help her because he feels like he's not good enough. He feels like he, what's it called? Doesn't want to help her because he feels like it'll make matters worse by talking too much, right? By, sorry, you know, by, by helping and talking and comforting too much, it kind of risks that factor of like, oh, am I doing too much? And then he doesn't want to stand back and just watch her fucking, self-sabotage and watch her crumble because she's in her head, you know. But he decided to give her some space. And then he came back to her and he was like, can we talk about that? And she just was like, no, 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 right? And so he was like, okay, I'll give her some space. And I guess that's what happens. But it just sucks because, like, it's the whole idea of, you feel like a burden, you feel like a deep, intense burden feeling of yourself, right? Because you mess things up and you want to make it right. You want to help make it right. But then again, you don't feel like you should make it right because you're the one who messed it up. So it's kind of like, you're on this teeter-totter, this seesaw, the playground, right? You go up, I want to help, I want to help, I want to help. But I don't want to help because I messed this up and I should give her the space that she needs and she doesn't deserve me because I messed it up and I caused pain on her. So it's like this whole seesaw, right? And it genuinely hurts the most ever. And just recently for my situation, I was texting her, not my friend's girlfriend, but I referred to the girl that cheated on as her, if you're new here. And I texted, it's almost 8 minutes, holy shit. I texted her and, or she's been texting me and she, she's like, I miss the intimacy, right? I miss the hugs, the kisses, the cuddles, the watching movies, eating and watching movies together and all these great things we used to do when we were together, right? And, I said, just, it's hard to get out. It's hard to tell her because, I don't know. I don't know why, but I guess I'm just scared of like, one, denial, and also just, I guess, I don't know. Obviously, the big thing is like, I feel like I don't tell her lots of things because, and I can't talk about a lot of things, how I feel, and like, all that stuff because I feel like she doesn't deserve me because I've hurt her too much, and the words that I say won't help heal that wound. That's a good way to put it. And so I just kind of stay speechless. But I did tell her some things. I said, I'm sorry that I ruined all of this, and I hope that we can have that intimacy that she longs for, that you long for. And I remember saying something on the lines of, like, I just feel too much guilt, and I feel like I don't deserve anything good coming to me right now. And that's just, years of just self-hatred built up in one sentence, really. And it's the craziest thing that she was just kind of like, you have to get out of your mind, right? It's just thought of, fuck the thought of you don't deserve this or you don't deserve that. And fuck the thought of guilt and regret. fuck all those feelings. Let's just be intimate again. And, or at least just like, you know, find the keys and get out of the cage in your mind. Like, I'm trapped in there, she said, you know, she's like, you're trapped and you need to be released. And one part of that is true. Like, I do definitely am in my mind a little too much about this whole stuff. But at the same time, if I'm not thinking about this, then I won't care about it. And so to that, I say, you know, I'm going to keep thinking about it. I'm going to keep caring about this whole situation. I'm going to keep stressing about it. I'm going to keep hating myself about this, because if I don't hate myself, there's no growth. I can't possibly learn from it, right? Hold on. That was a big one. Sorry. Excuse me. If I can't, right? It's like, you don't need a Band-Aid unless there's no scratch. You know what I mean by that? If there's no actual pain, then you're not going to heal. If that makes any sense. I'm usually like really retarded when it comes to like giving advice or something, but that kind of makes sense to me, right? If you don't get scratched, you don't need a Band-Aid. There's no need to heal. There's no way to heal because you're already healed, right? It's kind of the same thing like Theo Vaughn said, if nothing changes, nothing changes, right? And going back to my situation, the story, I guess you could say. Oh, God. It's kind of like, my nose is so fucking itchy, goddamn. Ugh. It's kind of like that thought of like, I'm going to keep thinking about this stuff. I'm going to keep thinking about how much I don't deserve love and how much she doesn't deserve me, right? This constant thought every day of just like, you know, I'm a monster and I'm a burden because I've hurt, you know, like right? Like I accidentally stepped on a butterfly because I tripped on a stick kind of deal, right? And yeah, I mean, that's just, to sum it all up, you know, that's just really it. That's all I have for a video today. I had some chicken and some, what's it called? Roasted potatoes for dinner. It was really good. God, it's been so busy these last few nights. Plus, I can't sit on my deck anymore like I used to and film videos because we're renovating our whole deck, redoing our whole deck. So, yeah, but yeah. I accidentally stepped on a butterfly because I tripped on a stick. That's good. Yeah. Peace out.